Hi everyone. I am Christine Pascual. I'm part of the AHIN Secretariat team, and I'm also helping coordinate the Open MS Community of Practice here in the region, which is being managed by AHIN. Before we start, we would just like to share some brief acknowledgements and disclaimer. For the acknowledgements, of course, we wanted to thank the Open MS experts from the Nepal-based Thinker Tech, especially to Sunil, who's our speaker for today, and the team lead for this technical feasibility activity, and as well as Ranjit, system analyst for this activity, and of course the Open MS coordination desk at GIZ for their guidance and advice, especially to Sarav and Constanza. To our AHIN Working Council members, Dr. Chancelly and Dr. Thapotone, for introducing us to colleagues at NHIB and for actively participating in the planning phase as well. Of course, our colleagues from WHO country office, Lao PDR, who really helped us coordinate the different activities on site and for their technical guidance and everything actually. So Dr. Achala, Dr. Yung Kyung, and Miss Van Feng, and also of course the MOH, NHIB, Lao PDR, Dr. Vexai, Dr. Ladavan, Ms. Sutason, and also the CBHI admin office for being eager to collaborate with us on this exploratory work and allowing us to really learn more about your organizations and the respective insurance schemes that you're managing, and the Saitani District Hospital and the CDHI Hospital for allowing us, the Tinker Tech team, especially during the site visits, and to other partners like JICA, Kofi, SRC, UNICEF, Lao, whom Tinker Tech met in Lao PDR during their site visit for sharing your time and insights in this meetings. So for thank you, really thank you to everyone. And for the disclaimer, we would just like to emphasize that this presentation, the views and insights, findings that I will be sharing in the presentation does not necessarily reflect the organizations we have interacted with in this project, and similarly, the organizations that we have collaborated with, they do not necessarily endorse any mentioned solutions, products, and service providers in this presentation. And lastly, for this technical feasibility assessment, which will be presented later on by Sunil, it's conducted for exploratory purposes only and does not commit future support or investment towards any implementations, open MS implementations. So I think without further ado, we can proceed with the just a quick overview on what OpenMS is in the next slide. Yes, I think some of us are familiar already with Open MS. So it stands for Open Insurance Management Information System. So to those who are not yet familiar with Open MS, it's an open source software which supports the management of different health financing and social protection schemes. It's currently being used in Nepal and also different countries in Africa. It is also recognized as a digital public good by the Digital Public Goods Alliance and recognized as an emergent a global good in digital health. For the next slide, we wanted to show here also how AHIN is linked with OpenMS. So as I said earlier, we at AHIN, we are currently hosting the community of practice around OpenMS in Asia. And as a regional hub, we aim to really contextualize or localize capacity building strategies and activities in open AMIS in the countries that we have been working with, and also to promote or build awareness around open AMIS. So we have collaborated with different countries like Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, of course, Nepal, Philippines, and Sri Lanka since 2019. Most of this are related to academic related activities, but this time in Laos PDR, for the next slide, um, we are leaning towards promoting our advocacy, translating this into action. So in 2020, uh, I believe this was the first time that Open Imis through AHIN, the initiative was able to interact with the NHIB in Lao. So we facilitated an online um, training to introduce about the features and benefits of Open Imis. So this was the speaker for this was actually yeah, a professor from Swiss Tropical Public Health Institute, and also for the um following year, we were able to invite HIB and MOH from Nepal, representatives from these offices to share about their open MS journey in the first Lao PDR Digital Health Convergence Workshop. So this was conducted virtually, but nonetheless, in this session, we were able to, facilitate a knowledge exchange between Lao and Nepal, and then finally, currently from 2023 and up to the present, uh, we have focused on organizing a technical feasibility assessment and customization of an open MS demonstration system for NHIB with the help of ThinkerTech. So last March 2024, Sunil and his team were able to visit NHIB and other related offices for this important work. And for the next slide, I think I can now hand it over to um, Sunil for the scope and objectives and the findings. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Good evening, everyone. I am Sunil Parajuli. I am from Tinker Technology, and one of the most important tasks that we did in Lao PDR is to have the feasibility, technical feasibility in our work scope. And I'll go to the next slide. So this is our objective. So the OpenMIS requirement analysis and setup of OpenMIS demonstration of system in Lao PDR through the technology. So what we have been doing over there and what we have been planning, and the short demo of how the thing can go of an HIV Lao PDR, especially in the community-based health insurance system. So our main objective is, as I already told, it is to help the Lao PDR to address technological gap in the context of health insurance management system. So as Christine has already told, we have started the work with the Q3 of 2023. Then we started with the kickoff meeting to know the work whereabout of the Lao PTR, how they are, in which phase they have been in terms of digital health insurance system. Then again, we have been on the site visit in our March 2024. Then after we came back to Nepal, we set up the OpenMIS instance for the demo purpose only and for the demonstration for the key stakeholders. So the first of all, I'd like to present the methodology that we started in the Lao PTR. That methodology would be the survey, the hospital survey, because it is quite important because we need to know about the business process of the hospital system, or maybe it could be quite different from Nepal or other kind of things. So that's why we conducted the survey to the hospital on site. Then after, we also observe the existing software which NHIB and CBHI office was doing. Actually, CBHI is a branch insurance management system, which they have been working on, and they have older system called the ADT, and the ADT system is uh, currently facilitating them uh, on the function like the registration of the household, registration of the individual, and the checking of the eligibility in the hospital side. So this kind of observation was done to streamline the business process, and also to find the user behavior of the system. Uh, so also we have inspect few documents in the district hospital, Central District Hospital, to make it as a report, because it is quite required. The data is required for the transition inside the open image. What kind of attribute is required from the claim for the report and for the discharge of the patient. So then after, we also used data analysis through the Excel provided by the NSIB to know about how claim attribute are over there, and find the similarity between the open image and their existing system and their policy. So additionally, we also had meeting with them to discuss about key points, including the availability of the IT personnel to know about the how many staff over there, and other kind of thing like it is quite important for the claim insurance processing in open image. So that kind of thing we discussed over there. So we also had demonstration of the open image to the NHIB, because uh, the demonstration the demonstration purpose is mainly because they know how open image can do their business process eventually uh, after the demonstration. So likewise, there was the challenges. So the challenges and expectation was over there. So the challenges already I have discussed, like the technical manpower. So the technical manpower was not there at the full extent. So that there also the requirement of the medical review team in the open image. When the claim is submitted to the system, it needs to be reviewed by the team, especially the medical team. Uh, so there is also the challenge in the software, unavailability of the software, and there is also the challenge in the infrastructure. And the expectation is that uh, the expectation from the Lao team is to automate claim submission, verification, and reimbursement. So also there is an expectation from the team to have open image to serve as both offline and online mode during the blackouts or other kind of disturbances. So I'd like to present about the technical finding and demonstration of uh, our work. So our primary focus on the analysis. So we our focus actually in Lao PDR, there are two kind of health insurance system, national health insurance system. One is the contribution based, and another is community based. So we're quite focused on CBHI as a contribution based health insurance management system. So we inspect the core functionality like the functional requirement, and then we presented the customization with the checklist. So I'll be presenting through the few checklists that has been quite important for the Lao PDR instance as well. There is also the optional assessment that would be the case-based health insurance system. Uh, so let's move to the next slide. So this is the link that have been developed and is currently hosted over the AWS. And so maybe you can share this after this session. So this is only for the demonstration purpose. So actually we have to see how things goes for the actual production. So let's see how OpenMe's is working on the digital health insurance system in Nepal, and also a generic workflow that has been carried out in the global scope. So what's happened in OpenMe's is that the contributor, I will say the contributor as a patient or injury, he visits the hospital and he requests for the claim. the health service provider or the health service, the hospital manager who work with the claim administration will check his insurance card, his insurance ID, and he checks his eligibility from the OpenEMIS. Actually, the eligibility can be done in two steps. One is the OpenEMIS itself provide the hospital screen. Those who don't have the software, the custom software called the EHR, Electronic Health Record Management System. So OpenEMIS also have built-in hospital screen, so they can claim from over there or check over from there, or they also have the fire compatible instance. So that from that standpoint of view, the eligibility check can be done. So if he is eligible, then his step can be gone to the next part. Else he will be rejected from that point. Then after the claim validation is carried out, the system itself validates the most of the cases, like whether the product he is referring is valid or not in the system. Then after the claim is landed over the OpenEMIS. So the OpenEMIS is admin, like NHIV. The NSI will be the admin, and the medical review team will be reviewing the claim, like the product services. Actually, they review the price of the item. They review whether the diagnosis matched with the item or service or not, something like that. And if it's valid, then they will be they actually pass to the next step. Else they can reject the claim, and also they can partially reject the claim as well. So after the claim administrator steps in, he will process the claim, and then he will be evaluating the claim. So the life cycle of the claim ends over here. And then after the reimbursement to the hospital is done. So in this step, the OpenEMIS scope is currently in the valuation process. However, the payment and other kind of thing to the hospital, the automation tax is kind of custom in country wise. So in Nepal, especially in Social Security Fund, it is done automatically by the National Payment Gateway. So this is the general workflow of the OpenEMIS. So let's talk about the CBHI. So these are the things that we find out in the health insurance in terms of CBHI, and it is currently utilized in the Bhentan capital only, with 9 districts and around 11,500 or 12,000 contributor. I will say it as the patient or the injury. So 50% is done by the household and 50% is done by the government. That's the policy. And it also utilizes the same workflow that I have shown in OpenEMIS, the household registration and the member registration. Upon registration, a slip is handed over the beneficiary. So there is a eligibility slip that is handed over to the insured or the family member. So the blue slip is for the central one, and the red slip is for the district hospital. Whenever they want to get the service, they need to carry those kind of slip. So this is the simple workflow as a business process. So the actor would be the client, contributor, patient, whatever we call. There will be the CBHI administration. The CBHI will be actually gathering the information of the contributor, and also they are responsible for issuing the slips. And then after there is a hospital admin will be responsible for checking the eligibility and claim process. And then after the claim is submitted to the NHID. So these are the things that are quite functional requirement for the CBHI. So the first thing is the household registration, that is absolutely required. There is a hospital registration part. It's also already present in the OpenEMIS. And then there is a contribution paid slip. This is something that is required for the customization. There is a membership card printing system. This is quite important for them as well, because they are quite excited to have those kind of system like a membership card printing, because it reduces the workload, as well as it is quite accurate in that sense. So hospital screen for corresponding hospital. So the 9 district hospital can have n number of screen. They can have their login inbuilt in the system by default. There is eligibility check from the hospital. So OpenEMIS already has this kind of feature. There is a visit record for the hospital. OpenEMIS already records those kind of claim as a visit to the hospital. Excel export. This is a thing that needs required for the customization, and there is a claim tracking for NHIV. So for the quality purpose, NHIV as an head of the insurance who monitors and regulates those hospital, they require frequent tracking system sometimes for the quality purpose. So the membership card for the CBHI administration, these are the requested feature by the CBHI stakeholder. There's invoice generation, there is a simple Excel export, there is a claim tracking system. So like I said, these are the standard slip provided to the household. There's a list of household name in the table that you can see over here, and there is a logo of the CBHI, and there's a few loud text, and there's a beneficiary ID. So this is insurance ID for the particular individual. So these are the slip, and we can see there are two kind of slip. There is a blue one and there's a red one. So in OpenMIS, though it doesn't look exactly because they're kind of things we still need to make, but this kind of slip can be generated from the OpenMIS backend. So what they do have is these are the month that is required for the eligibility part. So these are the patient the contributor eligible up to 2025 first month. So in that sense, like I have shown, maybe in the production phase, we can have this kind of thing automatically stamped over the slip. So this kind of slip can be easily generated through the OpenImage as a customization. Then after, we need to think about the registration of the household. So after transaction of the ADT system, the older one, to the OpenImage, TinkerTech team, and we finalize that if method one and or method two or method three will be usable for them to transition from older system to newer one, especially OpenImage. So we purpose API interoperability with the older system to consume API so that it can automatically enroll the contributor to the OpenImage without any hassle. However, the ADT system was developed by the private company, and its source code was not available, so it was out of option. Then after, OpenImage itself has the household registration and individual registration. So the one of the most optimal solution that OpenImage itself has provided is the manual registration in the OpenImage system. So it takes time, but it is most optimal. And then after, we also can do by the bulk Excel upload of the insurance and household. However, this also requires consumer time and all kind of thing. So method two would be quite useful for the CBHI team to enroll the household member. This is the thing that is presented through the API. If we use API, then this is something that we need to look for, like in the OpenImage DB, when the injury is when the injury is requested on time on demand, then it asks for the API of the older system, and if injury is present, then the injury's detail is captured by the OpenImage, and then it is stored in database. So next time when the same injury is requested, then it is already saved in DB, and it doesn't call the API. So in this format, the API consumable can be developed. So this kind of format is already usable in Nepal, and it is also usable in most of the systems. So it might be the good case. However, from the site visit, it is not possible. Then after the second method, this is the sample screen from the OpenImage software itself. So the last name, the insurance name, the insurance group, gender, that kind of thing can be automatically added in the system for the LAO team. So they can have this system inbuilt by default and can have all member enrolled in the system. However, it could be the manual. So the Excel upload, it is not on the demonstration. However, I would like to show the invoice generation for the hospital. So When we arrive at the district hospital, the older system wasn't able to generate the receipt that need to be provided to the patient or the visitor. So this is the sample receipt that is required for the that is required by the patient when he is discharged. So OpenIMIS, so we customize the few details, and the OpenIMIS can itself generate this kind of bill to the customer. So the Excel export, maybe I'll show this in the in my web page. Let me see. So let's look to the sample receipt after payment in contribution section. When the household pays certain amount to the government in CBHI contribution based, they need to pay certain amount to the government, and the government will subsidize the same amount, 50%, and they need to have certain amount of premium declared to the household member. So the household member will be getting certain amount of premium from the government after the registration is done and the contribution is paid. So in OpenIMIS, can see there is a contribution detail page. There is a contribution paid by the household. So if they paid a certain amount of money, let's say it's maybe $5,000, and it will be automatically 5,000 automatically added by the government, and the total amount would be the $1,000, and the amount funded by the government for each member. So the each member will be getting the same amount of premium, something like this, and those amount is provided to the hospital by the government. When the premium is provided to the hospital, then they will be eligible for the health insurance benefit. So by taking those slips, like I said, they need to visit the hospital, and the step is carried out in that sense. So this is the sample of the receipt that can be generated from the OpenIMIS. This is something called the contributor receipt or the family receipt. So this is the sample slip that can be produced from the OpenIMIS backend itself, and this slip is to be provided to the hospital by the government. So this is just a imagined kind of thing. In this way, they can have some kind of thing, and there's also the QR code for the further benefit, further utilization. So there is also the interoperability requirement for the district hospital as well as MOH, Ministry of Health. What they asked us to make a system is that the person, the individual who is already enrolled in the Social Security Office, or formal contribution section, should not be able to eligible in the CBHI scheme. So it requires the interoperability measures to done in that sense. So what we have developed is that this is the upper part is the SSO software. They have the registration of the individual. They have their some kind of insurance card or maybe private security card. In Nepal, there is a national ID. So in similar way, there could be some identity card that distinguish the individual. So those kind of system could be already present in the SSO software. So the SSO software will be providing those will be inserting those number in their system, and then the OpenIMIS will call the API of the SSO. The consume API will tell whether the particular person is already enrolled or not. So the unique identity number is required, and that needs to be verified through the OpenIMIS itself. So let's see the implementation. So this is the OpenIMIS interface. This is the eligibility section. So let's say this person having 07 as a prefix of their beneficiary ID. So if he is not enrolled in the SSO, then he have the green check. So he's only enrolled in the government insurance system. Then after, if the person is not is already enrolled in the SSO, then the system will automatically alert the hospital or the those person who checks the eligibility will get the alert regarding his eligibility is valid or not. So from this check, they have quite easy to check if the person is quite eligible or not. Then after, there is also the requirement, something like the offline and online claim management for the hospital, because like they said, there is the kind of the kind of district have hospital in the rural areas, as well as there's the disturbance in the internet, and sometimes there's a disturbance in the power failure, something like that. So the worst case is to use the software in the offline mode. So the OpenIMS itself has already out of the box has the fire integration. So the fire integration is very powerful API stand-alone point of view. It's quite powerful, and it also accept lots of EHR, electronic health record management system, or an hospital management system. So the EHR software vendor can easily integrate those in the OpenMIS system. So what they have to do is they have to submit the claim whenever the internet or the power is available. So they can record the claim offline, and they can submit the claim whenever there is a availability of the internet. So OpenMIS it's has been serving more than 600 hospital in Nepal through the fire. So let's come with so we already got passed to the CBHI, community-based health insurance system of the Lao PDR. Now we dive into the contribution-based health insurance system. It is something called the co-payment method, in which the contribution should be paid to get the health insurance management. Currently, they have been using Excel-based system, and with few macros, they have been automating the reports, and also they have something like consideration of the report. So they have the problem with the consideration of the report in the higher level, especially when they have different hierarchy for the validation of the claim. So let's see in next screen. So I think the actor for this different kind of contribution based, the actor would be hospital, district health insurance bureau, province health insurance bureau, and NHIB as a governing insurance bureau. So what they have been doing is the hospital will be submitting the claim. So monthly, the validation of the claim is carried out by the district level HIB, and if so they validate on the basis of the existing, they validate on the basis of the gender, they validate on the basis of the child or adult, something like that. The validation is carried out manually, and then they forward to the provincial health insurance bureau. So the provincial bureau also does the same thing. They also validates the process overall, and if the claim is valid, then they forward to the NHIB, and the report is generated quarterly. And then after, in the NHIB, all claim consultation is carried out, and the processes and reimbursement process is carried out by the NHIB team. So if we want to transition of this scheme to the open image system, then what we need to do is we need to implement FIRE architecture. Like I said, it is for the offline claim for the 17 provinces. They need to have the custom software that works in the offline environment, and then they can send whenever there is a availability of the internet. Then after, in the district level health insurance bureau, OpenIMS can be customized to have the user. So the district level user, the role and authorization can be given to that particular user, and that particular user will see his corresponding district as a filter criteria from the OpenIMS. So he will be validating those claims, and he will be forwarding those claims to its corresponding province. So there could be multiple province, and there is a multiple district. So the province also would have the same user. The format would be the same. It also has the user, and the province user will see its only corresponding district bureau's report, and that user also is responsible for validation the process in OpenMS. What he can do is he can select the claim and he can forward those claim to the system. And then after, the admin user is the NHIV, and the NHIV user uh, would be responsible for the payment initialization for the reimbursement. So in this process, I think we have find out that the case-based system, the contribution system also can be utilized in the OpenMS, though it is optional. So this is something that we have analyzed in our own, and there's a 90% chance that the NHIV Excel sheet workflow is quite compatible in OpenMS. So the main customization required is to add the role and permission to the user who will be responsible for controlling the DHIV and PHIV. There are also the minor customization is requirement, something like the report generation, because allow PDR, NHIV need to have a specific kind of report. So this kind of thing is required for the minor customization. So as you can see, we have add similarity between the OpenMS. So there is a field on the left side. Left side is generally from the NHIV Excel claim property, and there is a number of document. There is a number of document they entered in the Excel. However, OpenMS already have this kind of feature. OpenMS can add multiple attachment. There is a name family name. It is already present in OpenMS. Likewise, there is also the word treatment. So everything is already present in the OpenMS. So I will be skipping those details as well. There is a diagnosis part. So the diagnosis part is already present in the OpenMS, and currently in Nepal there is a usability of the ICT Core 11. So ICT 11 is already been used. So there is a date of admission already present in the OpenMS. So the discharge is also present in the OpenMS. The reason of discharge, this kind of thing also is present in OpenMS. So there's a value of medicine and medical supplies. OpenMS also itself has the service and item section, in which the people can add services and item for the valuation of the claim required. So there is a food section. The food section and transport section is quite required by the NHIV team, because as the policy, they also provide the food and transport to the individual, to the contributor who require those kind of criteria. In OpenMS, this kind of thing is itself is an item. So there is a arbitrary item in claim management. So they can freely add the amount required, for the food and transport, because it could be different from based on the circumstances. There is a referral section. It is already present in OpenMS. Total treatment count. It is something that needs already present in OpenMS through the filter. The co-payment system, it needs to be customized in the OpenMS, but it is already present in the Nepal. So patient group is also already present in Nepal. So yeah, this kind of thing is already present in Nepal. So I think in most of the cases, OpenMS is quite feasible for this kind of contribution as well. So I think we need to have the conclusion section. So this is the OpenMS instance that is hosted over here. May we share this instance later on. So you can log in over there, and there we can see simple analytics. Maybe we can develop this on our basis. So there is the household and policies. This is one of the most important feature that is already present in OpenMS. So we can see there is a family and the group for each individual. So we can use any kind of filter over here and can search based on the filter. So it is quite easy to use OpenMS. So let's say there is a claim section. So the claim section is this kind of thing. So like I said, this is the admin user. So NHIV will be using this system, and they can select the hospital, they can select the region, province. We could say this as a province. So they can even select the particular health insurance health facility to check the claim. So they can have monitoring feature in this way. So they can even check the service and item of individual in Suri. So like I said, there is a service and item that can be easily add as per the requirement. So this kind of system is already inbuilt in OpenIMS. So, so like I said, there is a eligibility screen at the top of the OpenIMS where you can put the beneficiary ID over here. And this screen will show whether the person is eligible or not, if he is active or not. And there are a bunch of other detail like the when his policy is being expiring, something like this. And there is also the green check in which it communicates with the API, external API, to know about the whether this person is enrolled in elsewhere or not. Currently, he is getting the green check. For this purpose, I have created the one Supabase account, and so this is, let's say, for example, this is the system maybe developed by the SSO. They might have some kind of individual identifier that distinguish the particular employee. So based on this factor, we can have this kind of thing to the external system. So in payment layer also, for payment system also, OpenIMS can be quite usable in this from this instance. So let's go back to the household and we can have, let's see, can, so from this screen, there is a print icon and they can easily print the card. Let me see. Okay. So because of the consent, we have used OpenIMS logo. However, the slide we have shown, it is directly similar to the slip that we have designed. This is something that is generic. So they can have the LAO PDR team can have customizable as their requirement. So like I said, the in the local version, we can see this kind of form, which is quite similar to the physical one. So this is the one of the requirement they need to have. So there is also the household. So let's say about the contribution form. So let's say the household need to provide some kind of contribution. So there's a contribution section, there's a policies, there's a number of insuree, family member, and there is a payment account. So for the LAO PDR team, they can have the receipt that I have shown in something like this. So this is the contribution section. They need to check this kind of thing like the bank transfer or cash, whatever they required, they can customizable. So let's say this is only for the demo. So if 300 is paid by the household, then it automatically combine and it would be 600 by the combined fund. This is something called combined fund from the government and the public. Let's say if they need to pay something amount. So this premium is applied for each member and it should be provided to the hospital. The government would be paying this premium in advance, and this individual can easily go to the hospital and claim for the insurance management. So this is something they can have by cutting in the middle of the page. This is for the receipt that can be taken to the household and for the agent receipt, and this is for the hospital as an something like the agreement. So let's talk about claim management. So in the claim management screen, what we can see is screen. So there's also scheme. So they can have Excel export. So maybe you can filter from the search again button. So there's only one claim. By this way, they can have the claim report. take time. In similar way, there is also the insuri in which they can export all those insuri from the Excel. So they can just export. Okay. So this is the basics export demonstration that I have shown. So in this format, the system can be developed in the production phase. So like this one. So this is the review page in which the MOS and SIV team will be validating the claim. So this is something they need to approve or reject by the NSIV team. So let's come back to the presentation. Okay. So this is so like I demonstrated, the conclusion would be OpenMIS itself is a tool. Itself is a tool that can be customizable, like other software. It can be customizable, and the overall workflow of CBHI scheme and contribution-based scheme is technically feasible, and the most of the feature is already present in OpenMIS. So I think it is a best approach to use OpenMIS out of the box, because it is also the ready-made software. It doesn't need to be developed from the scratch. So yeah, implementing this insurance scheme in OpenMIS can have a different benefit. So OpenMIS is interoperable. So in later phase, if an HIB team wants to integrate with external system, then OpenMIS is already interoperable. So it is quite easy to use the OpenMIS out of the box. So the recommendation that was carried out by the team is for the usability of the OpenMIS is technical manpower. So there needs to be a technical manpower for operating the OpenMIS and its support, local support for customization. Yes, the local developer or the vendor is required, may be required in the long run. There is also a requirement of change management because the change management is very important, because they need to move from the physical the manual to the automatic system. So the change management is quite important. The policy changes. So whenever the policy changes, the system need to be developed and customized. So it also need to be addressed. And for the sustainability, the software needs to be upgraded time and again based on the requirement. So I think I have concluded my presentation. Thank you for listening. I have come to the question and answer section. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for the presentation and the demo, Sunil. We are now approaching the top of the hour, but I hope we can extend for a few minutes to answer the questions entered in the chat box, in the Q&A box.
Yeah, I have MD Aminul Islam. Do you follow the CPT coding for health insurance claim? If you do not, then what is the reason? Can I know the CPT coding? We do follow the standardization like the ICD code, and there is also the standardization for the code of the services and item. Yeah, we do follow. However, since I am not that medically aware, I think we follow the pattern like the service and item code.
Yes, thank you, Sunil. I think the last question that we have is also from Dr. Aminul. So what were the non-functional requirements you received from end users, and how challenging was to fulfill the user satisfaction?
The non-functional requirement is something that is, you could say, the monitoring part also. The monitoring part is itself is a functional part. However, some features like discharge slip, not with the medical invoice, discharge slip, and those kind of things are quite non-functional. And also, I think the requirement of the connection between the CBHI and ADT system, which I previously mentioned, is a kind of non-functional requirement for us because it is not quite possible. However, if we have those system, then the manual registration wasn't required over there. However, the manual registration is a functional requirement.
Yes, I think that's the last question. Thank you so much, Sunil, for your presentation and for sharing more about the feasibility study in Lao PDR. We would also like to acknowledge our colleagues from Lao PDR. Thank you for attending, Ms. Sutason. I think Dr. Thep and Sir Nirmal were also on the call earlier, and our colleagues from GIZ. All right. Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you again next time. Have a good
Thank you very
evening.
much. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sunil. Bye, everyone.